I'll show you 4a here. So I'm just going to rewrite it so I can explain it as I go. So we're multiplying these fractions, so we're not too worried about common denominators like we would be if we were adding them. So what we're going to look at are common factors on the top and common factors on the bottom, and then try to cancel out what we can. But before we do that, I'm going to do some factoring as well, because if I factor some of these terms, then it'll help me to realize some other common factors. So like the 4a minus 12 here, I'm going to factor the 4 out. And that would become 4, and it'd be a minus 3. And then I'm just rewriting the bottom. I haven't changed anything. And now the top there, I'm not changing. Now a cubed minus 27. I probably need to show everyone in the class that this is a special cube, one that can be factored a special way. I'm just checking if 27, if I can do the cube root of 27. Just grab the calculator here, and I'm just checking. Can't seem to get the calculator in the screen of the, there we go, moving that up. So I'm just checking what's the cube root of 27 equals, and it's 3. And so that means that this is a difference of cubes. And we probably need to go back and remind and show everybody how to factor a difference of cubes. And there's a rule that basically if you have a cubed minus b cubed, that there's a special way that you can factor that fairly easily just by remembering a rule. And so I'll show that. I'll show you there in a second. Let me just find the right page in the textbook, and I'll be able to show you quickly how you can easily get through and factor it. So it'd be over here in the factorizing of cubes, and you'll see there's all these different ones that show different properties of how you factor things. So here's a perfect square, so that could factor to that. So I'm just looking for the one that has the cubes on it. That's not it. There we go again. There's still the difference of square. There we go. Here's a sum of cubes, and here's a difference of cubes. So it's actually this one right there that we're going to use to help us to factorize that bit. So this is probably something we'll need to go over with the whole class just to make sure they understand this. So in this case, I have a cubed, but now b would be equal to 3 in my case. So a cubed minus 27 would factor to a minus 3, right, because b is 3. And then it would be bracket the a squared plus 3a plus 9. Right, so I've just followed that form. I know that in this case it's already a cubed, so I know it's just a, and then I just plug it in. It's a minus the 3 because the b was equal to 3, and then a squared plus a times b plus the b squared, which would give us 9. So this a cubed minus 27 is factoring to a minus 3 bracket a squared plus 3a plus 9. Okay, so that's how that one will factor for us. And now that I've done that, now we can look out for canceling common factors. So it's like if you had 4 on 12 times 6 on 8. Well, lots of ways you could look at that. You could say, well, look, the 6 can go into the 12. 6 goes into itself once. 6 goes into 12 twice. 4 goes into 8 2 times, and 4 goes into itself once. And now I multiply across, and you get 1/4. Okay, lots of students do this many different ways. You could reduce it. 4 on 12 is 3, so it would be 1/4 times 3/4. So that'd be 1 on 3, wouldn't it? And then the 3's would cancel out, and then so you'd end up with 1/4. It's effectively what you're doing over here. And so here we can see that this a minus 3 can cancel out with that a minus 3. Okay, this one of that b can cancel out one of those and make that into a square. And so I think that's all about all the common factors I can cancel out. So what are we left with? So now I just multiply across. So 4 times 10 would be 40. So my number is 40. Maybe I can do this. I have 5 and 10. So 5 would go into 10 2 times. So I've canceled out the common factors with 10 and 5. So now I actually end up with 8 on the top. Everything else canceled out. And then on the bottom, all that we have left is the b squared bracket a squared plus 3a plus 9. Right, so that would be the final factorization of that. That's pretty difficult. That's about as hard as it gets when it comes to division with fractions. But anyway, let me know if you didn't understand any of that. We probably need to make sure, go back and revise that with everyone, or if they've never been introduced to that before, we probably need to make sure we spend some time on class doing and making sure everybody understands what this means here. But without that, you wouldn't be able to factor this part, which allowed us to cancel out that a minus 3.